what to do with you now. So, shall we put him out of his misery?
A.K.I is finally here in Street Fighter 6, and she looks absolutely insane, both from a design perspective and, well, just in general.
I bet poison would work wonders on you.
In this video, I wanted to do a deep dive into her character design and gameplay mechanics, because there's some really interesting stuff going on here. Capcom's design team continues to seem to knock it out of the park, especially with the female characters in this game. And I'd argue that A.K.I may be one of the most unique by far. A.K.I, abbreviated to the acronym A.K.I, is a Chinese assassin who studied under the tutelage of F.A.N.G. F.A.N.G, who also abbreviates to the acronym F.A.N.G, was an eccentric servant to M. Bison in Street Fighter V. Let's be real, this dude was a frickin' weirdo. Specializing in poison hand and crane style martial arts, he incorporated poison into his unorthodox attacks to confuse and whittle down his enemies. And he could also fly for some reason. A.K.I has also taken up poison hand like her master before her, but utilizes snake style martial arts to strike fear into the hearts of her foes, by using fluid movement to attack unexpectedly from unorthodox angles and inject them with her lethal venom. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that her design is based on a snake. She has black skin-tight pants with a matching open-back cheongsam, a traditional form-fitting Chinese gown, both of which are covered by snakeskin to resemble the belly of a snake. This is highlighted by red accents that line her entire outfit, meeting at the back to reveal the forked tongue of a snake. She sports metal gauntlets on each finger, creating claws over her poison-coated fingernails, which she uses to inject poison into her opponents, like the fangs of a snake. Her claws are connected to poison-coated chains wrapped around her forearms, which she uses to strike her foes at a distance, emulating the coiled strikes of a snake. This chick is literally just a snake. Hell, I'm pretty sure her whole character is based off of Nagini in Fantastic Beasts, right down to her gothic Lolita style alternate costume that has a somewhat striking resemblance to how she appeared in the film. But we can't talk about A.K.I.'s design without talking about that hair. At first glance, it kinda looks like what would happen if Guile forgot his hairspray, but I swear there's more to it. The fan-like design is based on a traditional straw hat called a kasa, which translates to umbrella in Japanese, a commonly associated symbol of an assassin due to its ability to conceal and obscure its owner's true intentions, alluding to A.K.I.'s roots as an assassin. Her hair could also be referencing the death cap mushroom, one of the most poisonous and lethal mushrooms in the world, distinguished by their pale coloring and layered appearance, which parallels A.K.I.'s pale white skin and mushroom top hair. Although saying A.K.I is based on a mushroom as opposed to a snake does make her sound a lot less cooler. I also want to touch upon the contrast between A.K.I and Chun Li. A lot of people tend to associate Juri and Chun Li to be natural rivals, but I'd argue that A.K.I is a more compelling rival to Chun Li. Both characters come from China, and both wear modified cheongsam gowns with identical flat shoes, but that's where the similarities end. Where Chun Li has a fairly muscular frame with a focus on her strong legs to execute powerful kicks and complex acrobatics, A.K.I has a slim and slender frame with a focus on her claws for precise hand movements and stealthy maneuvers. Their costumes are both visually distinct as well. Chun-Li's outfit has blue with gold accents, radiating her sense of duty and nobility, being a former police officer. A.K.I's outfit, on the other hand, is black with red accents, exuding a mysterious, threatening aura of a merciless assassin, like the exotic femme fatale archetype often portrayed in film. Chun-Li is associated with water, embodying the purity, grace, and power of the sea, while A.K.I is associated with poison, personifying the covert nature from which they act, corrupting, weakening, and destroying from the inside. They couldn't be more different, but you can tell that a lot of A.K.I's design elements were drawn upon as a direct contrast to Chun-Li, and that also applies to her gameplay.
Now, what poison shall I test on you?
Her signature mechanic is her ability to inflict poison on her enemies with certain attacks, causing a slow, temporary drain of the opponent's life bar. In this state, the opponent can cancel the effect by hitting A.K.I, but if A.K.I is able to get the hit in first, she can activate an ability called Toxic Blossom. Toxic Blossom is an explosive reaction that is triggered whenever a poisoned opponent is struck with certain attacks, granting her additional damage and combo opportunities. One of her best tools for this is Nightshade Pulse, a slow-moving projectile that will poison on contact. This can be useful as cover for her approach, or her escape, and she can strike the bubble directly with Nightshade Chaser, triggering a toxic explosion for direct damage. Combine Nightshade Pulse with Chaser, and you can trigger Toxic Blossom in one go for more damage. Toxic Wreath summons a much larger poison bubble while slashing the air in front of her. This is a core neutral tool for A.K.I, as it poisons and can combo both grounded and airborne opponents. Orchard Spring creates a pool of poison on the ground that will immediately poison anyone who comes into direct contact. This is unblockable, meaning your opponent has to respect it. They can try to navigate around it, but this will often fall right into A.K.I.'s trap. This is where Serpent Lash comes into play, a long-ranged whip strike from her poisonous talons that can attack from 3 different directions, each useful in their own right for locking down her opponent, keeping them at bay, and poisoning them at the same time. The enhanced version of this move is a straight rip-off of Scorpion Spear,
Get over here!
pulling her opponents directly towards her to attack. All variants of Serpent Lash can trigger Toxic Blossom, but the enhanced version triggers a unique effect if the opponent has already been poisoned, creating some devastating combo opportunities. It also cuts right through projectiles, making it a great counter against projectile spam. Her poison capabilities are complemented by some of the most cursed movement options I've ever seen.
If I were you.
Cruel Fate lets her leap clean over projectiles and attacks to strike from above, turning into a hit grab that poisons her opponent when
I'm
enhanced.
finished with you.
Snake Step lets her close the distance and even cross up her opponent with a low-profile dash. The light version is a fake-out just to fuck with them, while the enhanced version is completely invincible, with the exception of throws. A critical wake-up option when A.K.I is cornered. And Sinister Slide is an absolutely terrifying mobility tool. I mean, look at this thing. Letting her low profile basically everything as she slithers along the ground with her shoulders. This maneuver can be cancelled, and it can also be followed up with one of 3 attacks. Venomous F.A.N.G, a fast leaping attack that nearly reaches the full screen. This is a very strong punish tool for A.K.I, as it causes a crumple state when the opponent is poisoned, and can convert into super in the corner.
We shall increase the dosage to a fatal degree. Farewell.
You also have Heal Strike, 2 quick-hitting kicks that can be incorporated into combos, particularly after a standing heavy. And Entrapment, a command grab where she wraps around her opponent in a cold embrace, constricting and suffocating her prey. The range on this grab is kinda silly. I mean, she practically teleports at some distances, and it deals a ton of damage, but does require some setup due to its slow activation. Finally, you have her supers. Her level 1 is a nod to her master F.A.N.G, complete with her flapping her arms at the end like a frickin' idiot. Her level 2 has her poison talons go into maximum overdrive as they pierce every part of her opponent's body, leaving them in a pool of poison which she can capitalize on further.
The master's prize poison. Ah, a perfect, beautiful, most brilliantly crafted poison! Now you'll get a taste.
And her level 3 has her target her opponent's vital organs for a climactic, terrifying finish.
My magnum opus! Did that sting?
And that's A.K.I, another example of Capcom's fantastic character design, blending elements of an assassin with poison hand and snake-style martial arts, while gender-bending F.A.N.G to the point of obscurity. A.K.I's design epitomizes the essence of a snake. From her drip to her fighting style, she embodies the precision and lethality of a snake stalking its prey. And I think we can all agree, it is absolutely horrifying. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, and check out my other content on Street Fighter 6, and let me know your thoughts on A.K.I down below. Anyways, take care everyone, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.